The Washington Square Arch at the foot of Fifth Avenue is a well-known New York City landmark. But there were at least 3 other arches on Fifth Avenue, further north at 24th Street. They were all temporary, though, built for a specific occasion and taken down after a year or less. The first was a small arch built for the Washington Centennial in 1889, the 100th anniversary of President George Washington's inauguration. 10 years later, in 1899, the city wanted to build a Roman-style Victory Arch to welcome Admiral George Dewey, hero of the Spanish-American War. It was constructed in 2 months out of staff, which is similar to plaster of Paris, over a wooden framework. On September 30th, 1899, the grand parade for Admiral Dewey marched down Fifth Avenue and through the arch. The next day, Biograph cinematographer F.S. Armitage captured this footage of street traffic around the arch. Being constructed of wood and plaster, the arch was not going to last forever. By February 1900, it was showing signs of decay, and the city voted money for its repair and maintenance. Then in November 1900, a few weeks after one of the pylons caught fire, the city ordered that the whole thing be taken down. While the temporary arch still stood, individuals and groups were pushing for a permanent one, either at the same location or elsewhere in the city. But as the year 1900 progressed, enthusiasm for Admiral Dewey waned, and the idea of a permanent arch was abandoned. Within weeks of the armistice, public and private parties were thinking about how to welcome the troops home from World War I. Mayor John Hyland, perhaps remembering the Dewey Arch 20 years earlier, wanted a Victory Arch. The city allocated $80,000, equivalent to over $1 million today, for construction of a temporary arch. Once again, work proceeded at a breakneck pace in order to have it ready when the first troops returned in March 1919. The new triple arch was even grander than the Dewey Arch. For the first parade, decorative balloons were added to it as well. On Tuesday, March 25, 1919, New York's own 27th Division marched up Fifth Avenue, with its commanding officer, General John F. O'Ryan, at its head. Some 20,000 soldiers in battle gear participated. Crowd size was estimated at over 1 million. Around the arch, the crowd surged forward, and the police were unable to push them back. The marchers had to break into lines of 4 and double time through the arch and the crowd. On May 6th, New York's 77th Division marched up Fifth Avenue through the arch. Finally, on September 10th, General John J. Pershing led the 1st Division, Pershing's own, through the arch. 2 days earlier, he was welcomed home at City Hall and rode in a motorcade up Fifth Avenue. Once again, there were people and committees advocating a permanent Victory Arch on Fifth Avenue. And once again, enthusiasm for such an arch waned as the year went on. It had been designed in the period immediately after the German surrender, and it had been described by its designers as, quote, an almost vehement expression of the joy of victory, unquote. The anti-German tone of its decoration seemed increasingly inappropriate as the nation returned to peacetime. Also, the local commercial association said it was a hazard to traffic. As the arch was being demolished, somebody thought that the bas-reliefs decorating it should be saved. A large group of sculptors and artists had designed the arch's decorations, including Herbert Adams, Paul Bartlett, Isidore Conti, Andrew O'Connor, Carl Augustus Heber, Mary Lawrence Tonetti, Ulysses Ritchie, Philip Martini, Chester Beach, Herman Atkins McNeil, Gutzon Borglum, Frederick Roth, Henry M. Schrady, John Flanagan, Gertrude Vanderbilt Whitney, Baroni Young, Henri Crenier, Charles Keck, Eli Harvey, G. Testi, and Raffaella Menconi. The cameraman's notes say that the art was destined for New York University. It is unknown whether it ever got there or what became of it.